Konnichiwa. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for coming. It is an honor to be here in the home of the martial arts, to stand in front of you and present Glory, and also present our upcoming event in Tokyo in December. So no country in the world can compare to Japan's stature in the history of the martial arts. And so Japan occupies a focal place both in our hearts and in our plans. So first, I'd like to introduce myself and say a few words about where I'm coming from. I'm not from the fight industry. I have a financial background. I was a trader for banks such as Goldman Sachs and Bank of America, and I worked in Singapore and London. In 2008, I started a hedge fund in London called Blue Gold Capital, and I was the chief investment officer and the major shareholder, and it ended up being like a very good success. I managed at peak $2.4 billion under management, and the returns over its 4-year history was over 250%, which made it the best track record of any hedge fund during that period. I think the potential of the sport has never been fully exploited. No other combat sport in the world comes close in terms of the level of excitement that brews at the heart of a very high-level kickboxing competition, with beautiful, explosive, and fast-paced, constant action. This is why I teamed up with Total Sports Asia, which is a leading sports media and marketing company based in Kuala Lumpur, to create a new fighting sports brand called Glory, with a mission to showcase the heart of kickboxing and bring it back to its glorious heritage. So what am I doing at Glory? Well, I am the majority investor, and I'm chairman of the board of directors of Glory Sports International, which is a parent company of Glory. Glory Sports International is a well-funded company with over $30 million of clean capital committed to the project. I have defined the vision and assembled a team and made up of real professionals from the media, sports, and financial industry. I also helped to put in place the right corporate governance, control systems, and ethics of the company. So I oversee the company, and I am involved in all the strategic decisions. Obviously, we thought it was very important to bring the top people from the fight industry as well to help us, and so we have brought in a highly experienced team, such as people from the Golden Glory team, such as Bas Boone, Cor Hemmers, and Martin de Jong. They have the knowledge, experience, and contacts to work with the stars of today and create the talents of the future. They are also complemented by the top-level production team led by Simon Roots, and by fighters that we contracted when we bought the It's Showtime organization earlier this year in June. So we have signed and secured over 90% of the best fighters in the world at the moment, most of them being exclusive to Glory. I am glad and honored that superstars such as Semi Shield, Remy Boniaski, Peter Hertz, and Jérôme Le Banner chose to sign with us over other organizations. And I think it says a lot about us as an organization. They have the best pedigree in kickboxing, and they require no introduction. So you must be wondering about the different weight class that we will use. In the past, the two king weight classes were 70 kilos and heavyweight, which is above 95 kilos. We think there's an opportunity to bring a few different weight classes. So we decided to come out with 6 different weight classes: 65 kilos, 70 kilos, 77 kilos, 85 kilos, 95 kilos, and heavyweight. That way we will have many more faces, a lot more talent from everywhere in the world, a lot more fights, and I think it's it gives an opportunity for fighters of every weight category. And I do believe new stars will emerge. So concerning the format of the future events, there will be one tournament per weight category per year. So for the two king weight categories, so 70 kilos and heavyweight, there will be one, what we call a Grand Slam tournament per year. What we call a Grand Slam tournament is a 16-man tournament which is the format that we will bring on December with the heavyweights. And so we do that for 70 kilos and heavyweights. For all the other weight categories, we will do a slam tournament, which is what we call slam is an 8-man tournament. So all these cards, all these tournaments will also feature single fights. So like around between 4 and 7 single fights per event. We will also have single fight events, and we expect to do around a bit more than 40 shows next year. So we will also have a series of local events designed which we call Road to Glory, to find new talent for the Premier Glory events. So we are going to launch that next year in the USA and Japan. So Glory events will be spread out between Asia, Europe, and the Americas. For the first time in the history of the sport, Glory is implementing a point system that will rank all of our fighters. So that's a key point. It's no fighting organization in different like in boxing or kickboxing or MMA ever did that. It will be an automatic, mathematically calculated ranking depending on tournaments and single fight results. So you will not only know the number 1 and 2 fighters in each weight categories, but you will know each fighter after that as well, like the ranking. So it's a bit like in tennis, ranking all Glory fighters. So the Grand Slam that we are bringing to Tokyo is a new format, which we think will be very, very exciting. There will be shorter fights, and there will be many more faces. I would like to thank G Entertainment, our local partner, for putting on such a great press conference and for supporting our efforts in the country. So now I would like to introduce you to Marcus, who is the Managing Director of Glory Sports International and the CEO of Total Sports Asia, to say a few more words about Glory and to explain the upcoming event in more details. Many thanks for your attention. Arigatou gozaimasu.
Ladies and gentlemen and members of the press, welcome this morning to our Glory press conference. Always good to see everyone here. Yes, it will feature 16 of the world's best heavyweights, and many of them are former champions and legends in their own right, and fighters you've seen fight in Japan many times before. We have superstars like Semmy Shield, Peter Ertz, Remy Bonyatsky, Jerome Labetta, which have all been very well known to you here and have been in this country many, many times. I think she jumped ahead a bit, but yes, we do have other stars as well in here, not just the ones I just mentioned, but we do have Gokhan Saki, Errol Zimmerman, Seiji Karatonov, again, big names which fill up our amazing roster of 16 fighters. Yeah, and again, it doesn't stop here. We have some very exciting young and up-and-coming fighters coming as well. And just to share some of the names with you, we have Anders Braddock Silva, we have Jonathan Diniz, Jamal Ben Siddiq, Philip Verlinden, Reese Gudjon, and Igor Djokovic, which pretty much represent every corner of the world. So, as Pierre said earlier, we truly believe Glory is the World Cup of kickboxing, and this lineup of fighters, and these are just the top 13 which I've just mentioned, clearly represents this. Yes, as you might have heard already, our Glory Grand Slam format is a new format which we truly believe will change the face of kickboxing and the way you've ever witnessed a kickboxing event. Just to give you a feel of how this actually will look like. We will start with 16 fighters in the process. I think you can see it up there. The 16 fighters will be ranked based on the ranking which Pierre mentioned earlier. And so the top 4 fighters will actually be seeded. So let me just run this video, and then I'll stop it in between to give you some heads. So the first 4 will be pre-seeded based on the existing ranking at that point in time. So the ranking will be released in a few months, just closer to the tournament. Top 4, sorry, so the top 4 will be seeded similar to other international events, where the number 1 is on the top, number 2 on the bottom, and then 3 and 4 in the middle. Yeah, I'm going a bit off the script, so I think she will struggle now. But in addition, then we have 4 fighters who will be then put into a bowl, and we will randomly select these 4 fighters in the next seeded positions. So they're not automatically seeded, but there is a seeding for position number 5 to 8, where those 4 fighters, which are ranked number 5 to number 8 in the Glory ranking, will then be positioned. So that looks a bit like this. The remaining 8, meaning from ranking number 9 to 16 then, will be also put into a bowl and then randomly selected, starting with the first draw pulled out of the bowl, will be seated against the number, will be fighting against the number 1 seed, and then we'll go down the list. So this will look a bit like this. So up to the first round, the quarterfinal and the semifinal, we changed the rules, and we felt it's important because it's a much longer tournament in principle than what fighters have seen before. So by changing the rules and giving fighters a chance to come faster through the tournament, we eventually actually end up with a similar timing as you would see in a Final 8 format. So the difference is, in our first 3 rounds, we have fights which are only 2 minutes long each. That's the big difference, rather than the regular 3 minutes. And the other difference is that we fight a best-of-3 format. What that means, if a fighter wins the first 2 rounds, he does not have to fight the 3rd round and will automatically advance to the next round. So he can win on points or by knockout in the first 2 rounds. He will not obviously then have to go and fight the remaining rounds. Our scoring system is an open system, so the fighters will know the score of each round. The audience in the arena, the audience, the fans on TV will see it. So there's no hiding anymore. You know whether you're ahead, you know whether you're behind, and you know what you have to do. So it'll be very, very exciting, extremely fast-paced 2-minute rounds in the beginning of the tournament. So the fighter who will win this can truly call himself the heavyweight world champion of the world, no doubt, and it will be a landmark in the history of the sport. So all I can do now is invite you and come and join us on December 2nd at the Makahuri Arena Stadium here in Tokyo, at the spiritual home of the sport. We're extremely excited to be back here, and now it's up to us to make this show happen. First of all, let me welcome on stage our Glory Heavyweight World Champion, Mr. Sammy Shield. And no other than the legendary Peter Aerts. And last but not least, the Flying Gentleman, Remy Bonjasky.
Sammy Shield! Peter Aerts! Remy Bonjasky! So how are you feeling about the new system?
I think Glory make a very good design with the new system, because for me personally it's more like a karate style, and I like that very much. So I like to fight more rounds. So I'm very happy about this new system.
Peter, there's a lot of fighters who are going to be in here, and who are you keeping your eye on?
I don't know who I can fight in the tournament, but I don't care, you know. I want to fight with the greatest fighters, so I'm happy to be here.
And Remy, who's going to win?
Who's going to win? First, I want to say hi to everyone. I'm back in Japan, and it's great over here, but this new format, you can never say who's going to win. It's a big gamble, and we have all strong fighters in this tournament, so the best will win, and we'll see what's going to happen in December.
Glory for Tokyo.